Hi Pisces, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from the Heart. Thanks ever so much for joining me on your week ahead reading. We're doing Monday, October the 11th through to Sunday, I think it's Sunday the October the 17th. If it's not Sunday, then it's Saturday. I'm sure it's, let me just check here, because I've done 4 other videos with those dates. I know that Monday is the 11th. Let's have a look at calendar. I just want to make sure that I've got the calendar right. Yes, Sunday the 17th. Fantastic. Whew. Yeah, we're doing Monday the 11th through to Sunday the 17th. For the reading, guys, we're going to use the Tarot of Oppositions. It's one of my newest decks. It's absolutely delicious. It's a gorgeous deck. Basically, it shows you the upright and the reversed on the same side. So, well, obviously, usually when you do reversals, you just got the upright on a card, on the majority of cards that you find. And if it turns up inverted upside down, then that's what's classed obviously as the reversed side of things, the shadow side, the early phase of things, perhaps sometimes the negative side of things, and sometimes the positive side of things. For example, the Five of Cups in the reverse can be a very optimistic card. However, in Five of Cups in the reverse in this deck is the negative side, and the upright is the positive side, funnily enough. So they do things slightly different, but it's a beautiful deck. That's the upright of the Hermit, and that's the reverse of him. So it's just a really lovely, fun deck that I really thoroughly enjoy using. We're also going to use for your spiritual guidance at the end, the Angel Guide Oracle by Kyle Gray. Okay, so yeah, let's make a start on the reading. Right, guys, so the cards are down. What is it you need to be focusing on, or situation around October 11th to the 17th? The Three of Swords. For me, I mean, it's such an interesting card, the way that they've drawn this. We see in the upright a woman who looks like... Three of Swords can also mean being freed by the truth. To me, she looks like she's opening herself up to the truth. Because even though it's 3 swords, 1, 2, and 3, if you look at the reverse of this woman is hiding from the truth. And it's 1 sword there, and we've got the 3rd sword, the pivotal sword in the middle there. So 3 of Swords can also have a meaning that indicates the truth will set you free. So I think because this card is, the way that they draw the cards is so different, the way that they've been illustrated. Often within tarot, when you get, often people ask through different decks, should I be reading different decks differently? Well, yeah, you should, because I'm a great believer in that, because I believe that different decks bring different meanings with them, according to, which is why I always buy scenic decks. So according to what that deck is and how it's been illustrated, that's how I often incorporate the meanings as well through my readings. I certainly look at the illustrations. I think it's really important too. She doesn't look heartbroken to me on the card. She looks like she is... This lady reverse looks heartbroken. Now, this is what I was saying at the start of the reading when I said that the way that they've kind of developed this deck, illustrated, is very different to how sort of modern interpretations of a reverse would be. The modern interpretation, often with the 3 of Swords in the reverse, would be that somebody is starting to heal from a very deep wound, you know, from heartbreak, from disappointment, from regret. They're starting to heal. She's not healed. This is the reversal of it as well. This lady is very much afraid. And if you look at her hand, she's hiding from the Ace of Swords, so she's hiding from the truth. She doesn't really want to know. Here, and she's in a prison cell. Here, it almost feels like she has been lifted up. There's a sort of shadow behind her here. It's almost like her spirit is now being lifted, and she's now open to what the truth of the situation is. So I am actually going to read it in that way and say that I think that for that week, Pisces, it's really important to focus on opening up to a truth, no matter how painful that might be, because the truth will always set you free. What's the situation around this? So the Wheel of Fortune, destiny, karma, fate, change, cycles, one cycle ending, one beginning. For me, Wheel of Fortune is temporary though. It's not like a death card. It just talks about cycles. Moving from one cycle to the next often. But it is also a karmic card. Wow. You've got the Hierophant showing here. I see a karmic lesson here. The Hierophant is a teacher, and then we've got the karma off the wheel. So I see something about a karmic lesson for you, and I think that this is where the awakening is taking place. I don't know why the word the rapture came to mind. That's usually in the Judgment card. But it feels to me like there is this, if you like, with this Three of Swords, almost this awakening here. And when we've got that kind of fundamental awakening, we're often seeing that we are learning some very important big life lessons, which are what karmic lessons really are. You know, there's an experience that you go through that has happened because you are destined to learn something from it that's going to help you advance and become a better person, I think, going forward. That's how I feel karmic lessons work. So I see a karmic lesson here. Four of Coins. Now, you can see on the reverse of this guy is miserly and mean. And because he's so mean, he has very little for himself, because he won't allow himself to open up and give. It's almost like, and it's funny because the karmic lesson, this plays into the idea of karma, I believe, this card, because in the reverse, because he's so miserly, he lives a very miserly life. So he's just getting what he's giving out. But this guy is, because he's been so giving, he's actually receiving with this Four of Coins. So I think there's something for you to gain here with this Four of Coins energy. I see you guys gaining some huge perspective, because the Four of Coins can definitely be the card of gaining, and the Three of Wands is looking over, so it's looking outwards. It's almost like this person is looking outwards and gaining some form of quite an expansive perspective on things. So I actually feel here that there's a karmic lesson that you guys are learning, and it's giving you this huge or this expansive kind of viewpoint or perspective, I think, with that Three of Wands, because the Four of Coins can definitely be a gift as well. It's in the reverse, this is miserliness for me. In the upright, this is gaining something here. You got the Eight of Cups here. Now the Eight of Cups, this is, I mean, we've got the Three of Wands and the Eight of Cups. So I don't think this is, I mean, it could be, I think it is in a way gaining some form of perspective. But for me, when I get the Three of Wands and the Eight of Cups, this is somebody who's expanding their horizons, somebody who is moving from, you know, the eights also mean movement and change. So we've got this person here who is walking away from something that no longer served him. Okay, so this is almost, with the Three of Wands, a transitional period, because Three of Wands can mean transition and change. It's going from land to sea. And then we've got the Eight of Cups, which is leaving behind or abandoning what no longer serves you so you can move on to something better. So I feel that, and also the Four of, I mean, in the upright with this Four of Pentacles, this guy doesn't look unhappy. He just looks happy with what he's got. You know, this guy in the reverse looks unhappy. But this guy looks like he's gained something here. He's gained something that is very precious and very important when I look at this particular version of the Four of Coins. And it almost feels like it's giving you, or you're gaining some outward perspective here. And with the Eight of Cups as well, that helps you perhaps to advance and make some changes. The Eight of Cups also means to develop and advance, because eights represent the idea of development and advancement and movement. So I think that this is giving you this outward perspective now. It's giving you a perspective in terms of the direction as well, because the Eight of Cups is walking in a particular direction. He's leaving behind what he doesn't serve him, and he's taking a new direction on. So I think that this focus on being open to the truth is really important for you Pisces people watching this for the next few days. This lady, as I said, reverse, tends to shun the truth. She's hiding from the truth. Can you see? It reminds me of the Devil card that I got that shows characters like this on the Devil card. They're often hiding. This is somebody who's hiding in the shadow. She doesn't want to see the truth. Whatever that truth is, it might be a reflection of who she is. It might be about somebody else. It might be about a relationship. It could be about anything. But I actually feel here, guys, that The Three of Swords in the upright is telling you to be open. If you look at her arms, she's not hiding. Her arms are completely open to the Ace of Swords. It's the Three of Swords because it's got 3 swords, but it's the Ace of Swords that she's looking at. So there's a need to be completely open to the truth here, which is what another meaning, as I've mentioned, of the Three of Swords, because there's a big karmic lesson to be learnt here, in which I think that you're going to gain this new perspective going forward. I think it's going to help you gain this huge, expansive perspective going forward. And I think that going forward, this is going to allow you to take some new direction in your life, as it were, in whatever capacity that might mean. It could mean for some of you guys that the job that you're in isn't right for you. You've been in it maybe 20, 30 years, and suddenly you're discovering, actually, this isn't what I want to do. This doesn't make me feel happy anymore. There's a big lesson because it's a karmic lesson. So there's a huge lesson to be learnt here next week. But it is in the end, and it might feel uncomfortable when that reality check comes to you, when you do finally open yourself up to the truth. Because I think for some of you guys, Pisces, you were probably that at some time. You were probably hiding from the truth at some point. But I think in the upright, you're very kind of open to it. So I think if the truth is kind of coming to you, it's time to embrace that truth, because she has her arms open. And when we've got our arms open to something, Pisces, we're often embracing it. So I think it's the time to really have those arms open, embrace the truth of the matter. It's a massive karmic lesson, I know, but you're gaining some huge, expansive, spiritual, perspective now that's going to actually, I think, put you in the direction of where you should be. So let's have a look at what the advice is from this, or the outcome. Okay, so we've got the Knight of Cups here. The Knight of Cups is all about following your heart, following your dreams. So perhaps it's time to follow your heart, follow your dreams. Right, Six of Swords. This feels to me, it's more about moving into the direction of this. So perhaps there's now time to move in the direction of the dream of the Knight of Cups. Okay, that's interesting. Page of Cups. Do you know what this reminds me of? And what I usually do within tarot is I have things that I call bridging cards, or cards that take you from one place to the other. So we can see that we have the Six of Swords in the centre here, Pisces, and we've got baby Pisces here, the Page of Cups, which is you, but it's moving out of the Page of Cups towards the Knight of Cups. So it almost feels like the advice is it's now time to take it feels like there's something young that you've been developing. Page of Cups also means the imagination, and it means to dream as well. So it almost feels like it's time to take something out of the imagination towards this Knight card. So we're developing whatever it is here. You're moving that out. So this is moving out of this stage here towards the Knight stage. So pages are usually young children. They're usually experimental. They're usually, they're learners. They're at the developmental stage. And knights are the older brothers. So you think about a kind of like a child that's maybe, from baby to 12, and then you get the teenage Knight of Cups. Page of Cups would be probably from the age of baby to 18, and then you get the Knight of Cups, which are young men, teenage men. So they're advancing. So it's time to kind of move out of this page energy here, and you're wanting to kind of advance towards that knight. So it almost feels like something here needs to be developed. And this could be your... the Knight of Cups is also the idea, also focuses on the idea of imagination as well. But it feels like you need to be developing this. You need to, whatever it is that you're imagining with that page, or you've been learning or studying or trying to develop for a certain time, you need to advance out of that now. And with the Knight of Cups, start to kind of move that forward. So start to build on that in a way. Even though cups aren't about building, the knights are the old elders of the pages. So we're looking at kind of developing and moving the stage. So you're moving from one stage to the other. Ten of Cups. I see the Ten of Cups is completion. So it just feels like this stage that you've been in is now complete here. And what's the next one? And now it's time to Kings tend to bring things out into the external world. It almost feels it's time to show your gift. That's what comes to mind with the King of Cups, because he's a master. So he's highly experienced and he's highly knowledgeable. So he's very kind of confident. Kings represent mastery and confidence and expressing their power to the external world. So it almost feels like this has ended. This is now complete. The lesson is now complete, and it's time to kind of it feels like this energy here, this is you, baby Pisces, is now complete with that Ten of Cups, and it's time to show the gift, or give the gift perhaps, with this King of Cups. Cups are vessels, so we're giving things with the cup energy showing here. It's time to master something or to give it out to the external world. So let's do this reading one more time, and then we'll do the advice again. Time to open and embrace the truth. I think it's a truth that you were shying away from in the past. All right. So this for me is a late stage reversal. I think you shied away from this, Pisces, but now it's time to embrace it. That Three of Swords. It might be a difficult embracing, but it's time to do it, because what you're experiencing is a very heavy dose of karma. It's a karmic lesson here that is being learned. But this karmic lesson, I think, with the Four of Coins, and also the Four of Coins can represent completion, because it can represent something is finally gained. So for me, fours can be completion as well. So I just feel that a karmic lesson is complete here, which is going to allow you to gain some form of a new perspective with that Three of Wands, which is going to then put you in the direction, or put you on a new path, because I often see the Eight of Cups, because eights represent change. It's the new path. He's walking away from these cups and he's heading towards, something new. So I think that this gaining of the new direction is going to put you on a new path with that Eight of Cups. But the advice is that you need to, whatever you've been doing, I think this is the pivotal card here. Whatever you've been doing, Pisces, with the Page of Cups, whatever you've been imagining or dreaming of, there needs to be a shift now. You need to, the advice is that this has to, you have to move out of this, okay, towards the Knight of Cups. Okay, so you have to move out of this young stage, and you have to move in the direction where you're going to be developing this. So I think that this Page of Cups is whatever the idea is, whatever the creative, idea is, or whatever it is that you've been imagining or dreaming of, or whatever it is you've been working on. But I think with the Page, you've been working on something in a very kind of small way. This has room for development, but I think that it's time to kind of shift out of this Page of Cups energy now towards the Knight of Cups, okay, where you're starting to advance this idea, this goal, this love, this potential even further. Because I think that this energy here of the Page, whatever you've been doing, whatever you've been working on, this stage is now complete, I think, with this Page of Cups energy, Ten of Cups energy. And I think it's time to start mastering the gift that you hold. And actually, that's what I'm going to say. I think it's time to start mastering it, because kings are masters and cups can definitely be gifts. Okay? So it's time to start being confident and mastering this. You've got this Knight, and then you've got this Page, and then you've got this King. Okay, so we start off being the Page, we then go up to the Knight. We don't have the Queen here, but it almost feels like, that with the Queen being exempt, because Queens represent to nurture, it almost feels like the universe is saying to you, Pisces, that you're literally at a stage where you can just go for this thing now. You can just do it. It's saying that you don't really need to do any further. There does need to be some development here, because we've got the Page here. So the creative endeavour of that Page, you can move out of this first stage here, and you can move towards developing this even further with the Knight. Developing it with the Knight, coaxing it with the Knight. But this young developmental stage is now complete, and you now need to start to master all of this. It's almost like the universe is saying, Pisces, that you've got all of the right components together. Okay, it's almost like it's saying you don't need to go through all of the stages to get there. You know, you don't need to go from the page to the knight to the queen to the king. You can just go page, knight, and then king. Okay, so it's almost like it's saying that you're pretty much you know, the time for from development through to presentation is a shorter time scale, because we've got between the page, the knight, and the king, we've got 2 shift stroke completion cards, the 6 of Swords and the 10 of Cups. The 6 of Swords indicates movement and shift. The 10 of Cups indicates completion. So we're seeing 2 cards that would refer to the idea of change, sitting in between young creative card, young development here, advancing forth with that development, moving forward with that, advancing forth with it with the Knight of Cups. It's almost like we get the page. It's like a relay game, you know, carrying the torch and passing it over then to the knight and then passing it to the king. You know, we can, it's almost like it's saying you can miss out one of the hoops, or you can miss out one of the runners, and you can just get there. So I think it's time to really kind of take whatever this gift is that you hold, because cups, as I say, I always see them as being gifts, Pisces, because they're vessels. They're like torches. Whatever the torch or the gift is that you have, it is time now to start moving that gift, to start shifting it up a bit of a gear here. It's time to start advancing on that and mastering it. Okay? Because a lesson has now been learned. There's a karmic lesson that has now been achieved here. Okay? And this is allowing you now to move in the direction of your dreams. Where one cycle ends, another one begins. But you have to, I think, allow yourself to move out of the dream state now. And advance forth with the dream, with the gift that you hold. Okay? The time for sitting back and dreaming is over. And it's now time to start mastering this gift that you hold in your hands, Pisces. Because you are Pisces. And it's funny, because there you are, of course. Knight of Cups, Pisces. Page of Cups. This is baby Pisces. And that's Knight of Cups refers to a Pisces individual. And also King of Cups. So that's usually shown as being Scorpio. It is still water, so it would be Pisces. So you show 3 times, but you show at 3 stages. You show at 3 stages of development, which is really interesting here. Yeah. From, you know, what do they call? Kind of like protege type to, you know, the leader type, or not leader. Knight of Cups is not necessarily, I mean, it's a leader, but it's kind of like mid-management leader, if you see what I mean, middle-level leader to the highest one, which is the king. So really, the king is just for me saying that with the page and that 10 of Cups, it almost feels like this, this young energy here that you have been developing and working on to a certain extent is now at an end. And it's time to start mastering those skills, because it's almost like it's saying, Pisces, you have everything that you need. Everything that you need to go out there and really make a go of something. You really do. You don't, you know, and you can do it quicker, because we don't have the full set of the court cards and we don't have the queen here. So it almost feels like it's saying, but you can do this a lot quicker. You can do it quicker than you thought you could do it, because you have everything. So if you were sitting back and just saying, imagining this, it's time to take it out there. It's time to advance on this imagination, advance on this gift, move this gift, shift. There's a shift here that needs to come out of that page. You need to move to in the direction now of the dream. You need to advance forth with it. This is now complete, and you need to start mastering the gift so that you can present it to the outside world. Very interesting reading. Let's have a look at what the spiritual advice is for the week. What is the spiritual advice you have for Pisces for the week in 1 to 2 cards? Well, just give me 1 card. What's the spiritual advice, please, for the week for Pisces? Sacred plan. All right, let's have a look at this. Sacred plan. Right, this card doesn't represent the plan that God has for your life, more the plan that comes to fruition based on your intentions and your highest good. And also, the Ten of Cups means bringing something to fruition. It's the last card. It's the end of the cycle. Okay, so ideas coming to fruition that can be mastered as well. So move in the direction of your dreams. The ideas that you've been developing are now ready. They're now ripe. Because, of course, if the Ten of Cups means something has come to fruition, it means that it's ripe. So the ideas that you have here, Pisces, are now ripe for you to bring out, perhaps, as well, to present. The king is presenting something. Remember, king's master, they bring things out into the world here. So those ideas that you've had are now ripe enough for you to bring out into the world. You're ready. I think you're ready for something here. What else did it say? You have been given the incredible gift, of free will, and therefore your thoughts, deeds, actions, and intentions are in some way going out into the universe and curating the experiences, opportunities, and energies that are flowing in and out of your life. When this card appears, you are being encouraged to move into a state of surrender where you recognize that, yes, your intentions have an impact on the creation of your life, but how those intentions unfold is not down to you, but in the hands of God. That's interesting. The divine plan is your intentions unfolding in a way that God, the universe, feels is for your growth and highest good. Know that every experience you have been through in your life has been a waymarker on your journey towards growth and expansion. And your angels are acknowledging your growth now, which is really interesting because we spoke about the karmic lesson here being gained with that Four of Coins. And now with the Three of Wands, the expansion is taking place here, which is an expansive ideas as well, which are putting you in the direction of your highest good, putting you in the direction of your dreams, the Eight of Cups here. And I think that with the Three of Swords covering this reading, guys, it's really time to face up to that truth. Because I do feel, as I've said, because I see this as a late stage reversal, okay? To me, this would say that you've hidden away from this. But now it's saying you're ready. You have to start kind of making those moves. It's almost like when I look at this card here, that yes, surrender to God, because God is actually putting you on this path, but it's almost like God is saying through the cards, you are ready now. These ideas that you've been building for a while or working on are now ripe enough for you to present out there to the world, I think, with that king as well. So you need to follow, you need to move in the directions of your dreams. Okay, and also with the Six of Swords and the Knight of Cups, they both refer to the idea of travel over water. Okay, so I just feel that there needs to be there is an expansion in terms of or movement. It could be physical movement for some of you guys as well, because you have these two cards. So for some of you guys, the advice is that now is time for physical movement, because the Knight of Cups and the Six of Swords are travelers. Also, because I know that the Six of Swords is the mind, but it's also on water. And this is water is here. So I think that there needs to be as well this push and this movement through, especially if emotionally wise, you've been like this and you haven't been able to kind of face up to a truth here. And with the Three of Swords now, it might be a painful truth, but nevertheless, you need to open and embrace on that. I think the universe is also saying to you, Pisces, that if this has been difficult at one stage here, there is, and you now is the time to face up to this in this week. Pisces, face up to that truth, then there is now a need for you to transcend your thoughts. So the mentality, Six of Swords is also the transcendence in terms of our thinking, and the Knight of Cups is the transcendence in terms of our feeling. So now is time to kind of transcend our mental and our emotional in order for the ideas which are ripe now for the picking to be gifted out there to the world. So some of you guys, it is purely fear-based while you're not doing something here. And now it's time for you to change up the way that you think. The Six of Swords is change as well. So change of mind. And the Knight of Cups is the transcendence in terms of our emotions, because he's moving emotionally, because it's cups. So there's a need for you to transcend mentally and emotionally in order to complete the ideas that you have, or to in order, because the ideas that you have are very ripe, and they are now is the time to start gifting and putting this out to the world. So it's almost like it's saying that you've stuck in this place, Pisces, of the Page of Cups, not because you didn't know what you were doing, and not because you weren't at the place where you were the king, because you are the king here. It's almost like it's saying you're ready for this. That 10 is completing on that page. That 10 is ripe for the picking with the page. So all we've got left is that king now. So you're ready to present those gifts. So you were always ready here. Because I think that whatever the gift is that you hold, Pisces, it's a rare thing that this is a gift that you've always had. This isn't something that you had to even work or develop on, actually, when I think about the cards. I don't think this is something that you even had to work or develop on. I just think that this is something that you were naturally gifted with, but you've ignored it probably because you were afraid, and that's why you were like this at some stage. But now you've got to embrace it. I think you've really got to embrace that truth and say, actually, I am gifted in this area. But you're naturally gifted. Some of you guys, it might be that you're a naturally gifted psychic or tarot reader, but you never took that leap of faith. Maybe you didn't do it because money, or just never certain whether you were good enough. But you are good enough, because the universe on the card says that you are. So it's time to really take that leap of faith and move towards that dream, because your abilities, I think, as the page, are now ripe enough for you to go out and gift this to the world, I would say. Okay, so I would say, yeah, think on that for next week. All right, that is your reading, my darlings. I'd like to say thanks ever so much for joining me on Carol's Universe. If you would like a private reading with me, click on the link in the comment section below, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.